Welcome back to the second segment of the show. Today we're going to be discussing two important discoveries. One of them is Egypt unearthing a trove of artifacts, about 250 mummies in the ancient necropolis, in addition to Egypt inaugurating the newly developed path of the Holy Family in Wadi Natrun. And we're joined over the phone to talk to us more about the subject by Ehab Wagdy, a tour guide. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us.
You're more than welcome.
Archaeologists announced on Monday that they had uncovered a number of ancient artifacts in the necropolis of Saqqara, including mummies and a bronze statue that date back 2,500 years ago. Can you tell us more about this discovery and why is it important?
Well, the discovery, to start with it, and that's very important to mention that this great discovery was done purely by an Egyptian expedition, which is the Egyptian expedition of the Antiquities, the Ministry of Antiquities, led by Dr. Mustafa Waziri. They have found actually there like 150 bronze statues in different sizes, belongs to the Egyptian gods and goddesses, deities, like Anubis, Amen-Men, Osiris, Isis, Nefertun, Bastet, Hathor, and they have found also some bronze antiques. They belongs to the goddess Isis, especially like the cisterns, and unheaded statue for Imhotep, the great architect in Saqqara, plus the 250 coffins, let's say colored coffins, dating back to the late period, like almost 500 years BC, and it got its mummies in a good condition, plus some of them were gilded, like the drawings of the faces and the gilded wooden boxes. Actually, the burial shaft that they have discovered, that's where they found these coffins, plus the papyrus roll they found, and most probably it's from the Book of the Dead, and of course they are going to restore it, because we have a department in the Egyptian Museum. They are specialized in restoring the papyrus. Then afterwards, the new discovery or everything they found in there will be moved to the new museum. Needless to say about the two wooden statues, let's say the colored wooden statues in a good condition for Isis and Nephthys, again dating back to the New Kingdom. That's 1,500 years. BC.
Yes. Do these discoveries also somehow add to the understanding of, the timeline of ancient Egypt?
Indeed, because we have to put in mind that Saqqara itself, as a necropolis, it was a necropolis for the Egyptians, starting from the early periods, dynastic, pre-dynastic era, till the late era, and it's a very rich area for a lot of people. They don't notice it is equivalent, if you wish to say, to the West Bank of Luxor, as rich as the West Bank of Luxor. The only difference that the West Bank of Luxor, we will be talking Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom, while there we're talking pre-dynastic until the late period. So it's a huge and a big area, full with a lot of antiquities. All what we need is to uncover them, and this, of course, it needs time and money.
Yes. To what extent do you think that these findings will significantly help understand, like you were saying, there are different dynasties and so forth, help understand in this time period which dynasty was ruling and how this dynasty ruled?
Well, if we are talking like the discovery of, let's say, 1500 BC, that means New Kingdom. We have to
Yes.
put in mind, we have several major eras like the Archaic period now,
Yes.
which is covering the first two dynasties. Then you have the Old Kingdom starting from the third till the end of the sixth. Then we have the Middle Kingdom, which is covering two dynasties only, the 11th and the 12th.
Yes.
Then the New Kingdom starting from the 18th dynasty, and we will be talking starting from 1500 BC. Then we have the later era, or what's known as the late period, and that's covering the last discoveries, 500 years BC. That's the late era before the invasion or the arrival of Alexander the Great to Egypt. So Saqqara is extremely rich. And also the new discoveries, actually, let's put it like this, it's opened the appetite of the tourists around the world to come to Egypt, putting in mind that there is a target for the travelers around the world again. Everybody around the world is waiting for the opening of the gem, the new museum.
Yes.
We are going to open, and I believe that it's going to be towards the end of this year,
Yes.
maybe after that big summit, which is going to be in Sharm el-Sheikh, putting in mind that there will be also a parade for the golden mask of Tutankhamun, while we are transferring it to the new museum. So the whole world really now, they are on their toes, waiting for the opening of the gem and for what we are going to happen there. And this is, of course, is putting Egypt now as one of the top destinations in the world, definitely in the Middle East, but one of the top in the world that travelers, they are waiting to travel to.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic, still on the tourism area, about the inauguration of the Holy Path in the Wadi Natrun area. The Minister of Local Development, as well as the Tourism and Antiquities Ministry, inaugurated this path on Saturday in Wadi Natrun, and it is based on 25 stops for the path itself. How important is this project to the tourism sector? I see that the Tourism and Antiquities Minister is trying to expand its target audience, not just people who are interested in ancient history, but also towards religious tourism.
Indeed, we have different kinds of tourism in Egypt. Of course, on the top of the list, we will find the culture tourism, but we have also the religious trips or the pilgrimages that could be made to Egypt. If we are talking about the Holy Family, the route or the path of the Holy Family to Egypt, we find like there are 25 points on our map to encourage these areas or to develop these areas to let the visitors visiting it. We have to put in mind that the Vatican itself has put in the route or the path of the Holy Family as one of the pilgrimages recognized by the Vatican, and some of the priests themselves, they came and they did it. We have to put in mind that it's not only the Christians in Europe. We have the Catholics in Asia, like in India and Filipino, and in these countries, we can encourage them. We have also the Catholics in Latin America. All of these are new markets we can encourage. They are already coming, but not a lot. We can increase the number of tourists coming to there. And by the way, not only for the Christians, we have to put also in mind the Jews around the world if they want to come to St. Catherine,
spiritual
and the
path,
place
not
where
just necessarily,
God they talked to Moses, the Muslims also around the world. So this is increasing the number of tourists in Egypt. What they have done in El-Bahira
yes,
governorate, when they developed the route there and they planted the palm trees, imitating the way in the ancient time. We have to put in mind that wherever the Holy Family stayed,
yes,
you know, a church or a well, all of where they stayed, a church was built wherever they rested. Not only that, monasteries were built wherever they rested around Egypt, and all of these are sites to be visited by the tourists who want to follow the route or the path of the Holy Family in their flight to Egypt.
yes. To the Holy Family's path, like you were saying, there are 25 stops. What are the most important stops in this route?
Oh, we have several churches known and visited for a long time, and they are a part of this route, like the in Old Cairo, where we have St. Serge's Church and the crypt where the Holy Family stayed in. We have also the Church of the Virgin Mary in Bergwan Isle. That's an old Cairo. We have another church in Maadi. And by the way, the name Maadi itself, the place to cross, it was given because that area where the Holy Family crossed the Nile. So that's why in Arabic it's called Maadi, where the place to cross the Nile from east to west or west to east afterwards. So there are several churches, there are several monasteries, whether the churches in Jabal al-Tir or the monastery of Al-Muharra nearby Asyut. I mean, there are several churches, the Tree of the Holy Family in Cairo. There are several sites in Mustorod, in Minya, in Asyut, in Tamanud, in the Delta, Bilbais in the east, the route in Sinai. Actually, it's a very rich area that could be developed a lot, and it will reflect on our economy and on the people themselves, whether those who are working in tourism or those who are living in these areas, whom they can promote their lives or their way of living by modernizing these areas and developing these areas to make it able to receive the number of tourists we are expecting to come. And in a very simple way, I can tell you, we can double the number of tourists coming to Egypt just by adding the religious kind of tourism on our schedule, which we are already doing.
Yes. What kind of renovations or reconstructions have been made so far within the Holy Path itself when it comes to, you know, historical places? Like you were saying, there are several churches.
The Ministry of Antiquities are doing a great job on this with the approval of the church itself, because, you know, it's the Orthodox church in Egypt, the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt, that it's the one actually supervising what's happening, because we have to take their approval on what's going on. There are several churches like the ones I was talking about now in Old Cairo, like the one in Bergwan. These churches have been restored by the Ministry of Antiquities. Also the route and some other monasteries and churches We are still working hard on this, but actually we are doing a great job, and there will be, for the future, the results will be very clear to everybody, especially when people feel that. And you know, with tourism in particular, people always feel the positives of tourism immediately, whether on those who are working directly in tourism or those who are getting benefits out of those who are working in tourism.
Okay, Mr. Ehab Wagdy, a tour guide, thank you so much for highlighting the importance of or rather this week's discovery and the inauguration of the Holy Path. But unfortunately, we're out of time for this edition of Cairo Local Time. But stay tuned for more on Nile TV.